Happy Monday. Today is my first video on here. The goal is going to be to come in every Monday and riff on some type of business strategy, mindset lesson, something that's come up in my coaching for the last week or so. And it's really the goal here is really to be a casual space where it feels like I'm talking to you individually as a client or as a friend. So I'm just excited to be here. I've been wanting to find a space for this, and right now it's going to live on YouTube. Where I can just talk about some big lesson I'm learning. It can be a little bit longer form content than Instagram. I'm going to stick to under 10 or 15 minutes. So today I want to talk about a lesson that has really come up for me over the last week. As a lot of you know, my previous company was a VC-backed company. What that means is we raised venture capital investment. And I did this starting like in 2016 to 2020, which was a time period where venture capitalists and investors were pumping money into companies, and the companies were supposed to grow really, really fast. So I say that because I want you to know the mindset I'm coming from, which used to be hustle and grow at all costs. Now, I've changed since then, but it's tricky because there's a lot of underlying type A pushing for growth, like not feeling good enough if I don't have those numbers. There's a lot of those underlying feelings in my world that I deal with my coaches and with therapists, but it's something that I'm always working on. So, one thing I realized lately is I really, really struggle with being where I am now versus where I really want to be. So, I call that the void, which is the space in between where I am now and where I want to get to. And over the last few months, I've shifted my strategy to focus from one-on-one clients and helping clients individually into a business model that's going to focus more on scale. My mission and the thing I'm most passionate about is helping more female founders make more money in their business, which means I need to touch more people. So I found myself last week feeling frustrated that my Instagram posts weren't reaching more people, that more new people hadn't jumped in my membership, that more people weren't clicking on my emails, that my click-through rate wasn't high enough. And I just found myself kind of spiraling in this, like, why am I not already at 100 people in my membership? I launched a new membership. I have incredible people in the group. And I have a decent amount of paid members, but I found myself really focused on what wasn't there rather than what was. So I started this practice last week that I think has helped me immensely, and it's really important. And so I want to share it with you. And there's a reason why it's so important. And there's a reason why I'm sharing it with you today, which I will explain after I tell you what it is. So, what I decided to do last week was laying in bed at night before I fell asleep. I decided to focus on the people and the businesses that I had touched that day. So, my focus was on who did see my posts, who was touched by me, how many businesses did I get to touch. I have a group coaching program called Co-Founders Lab for founders wanting to hit 5K months. It's a mastermind. I had that call that day, right? So I had a mastermind call. I have 10 people in that program. We dove deep into their businesses. Some of them were crying, some of them were having super aha moments. But in the afternoon, I was focused on who I wasn't reaching, right? So when I went to bed that night, I thought, whose business did I touch today? And I went through gratitude. I went through feelings of gratitude for every single business I touched, whether it was me actually talking to that person, which would be in like our mastermind group call, or in our Slack channel, or in my membership community on School. And I thought through, like, how did I touch these people? I am so grateful that these people paid me or spent time, you know, in my world, getting to know me and letting me into their business. So instead of focusing on what wasn't there, I had a moment of gratitude for each business that I was able to touch. Then I shifted and thought about my content. And I thought, instead of thinking, why didn't my reel hit 1,500 views? I thought, I am so grateful. It was a reel that did not do super well for me. I think it had like 250 views. And I thought to myself, I touched 250 people, saw that reel. 250 views. That is a lot of people to touch. So instead of the focus being on I hadn't hit 1,000 people, I focused on the people that I did hit. Then for my emails, maybe not everyone clicked through, but so many people opened them and there were some clicks. I had a moment of gratitude for everyone that opened and read my email. And I get a lot of replies back that my emails actually resonate and help people. And I focused on that. Like, I was getting all these emails coming in also from this free 3-day thing I hosted the week prior. And people were saying, oh my God, you blew my mind. Oh my God, I'm totally rethinking my marketing strategy. That is incredible. But here's the thing. If I am so focused on where I want to be and how I'm not there yet, I lose sight of all the people I am helping. And this is why this is the most important. First, let me say this. The strategy is laying in bed and being grateful for the lives and the businesses that you do touch. So if it's a product company, who placed orders that day? Who sent you an email telling you how much they loved your product? Who, if you're a coach or if you're a service provider, like whose business did you touch that day, right? So that's the strategy. So lay in bed at night and be grateful for the lives and businesses you did touch. Now, why is this so important? I'm going to tell you why. In the VC-backed founder world, we would literally get investment in the bank. You would get a 100K check from an investor, and you would be grateful for it for about 3 minutes. And then you were worried about how you're going to use that money, how you're going to run out of that money, and what was going to happen next. And it's dangerous to be that way. And I'm telling you that because I've been there. And I'm going to tell you why it's so dangerous. If you aren't grateful for what you have now, are you going to be grateful when you're bigger? Or are you always going to be worried about getting to that next step? So that's why this is so important, is when you have 5K followers on Instagram, 10K followers, you get a reel that hits 250K views. Are you grateful for the 250K, or are you mad you're not at 1 million? The goalposts just move. Okay. And that's something I learned so much in my first company in the Stylist LA. The goalposts move. You hit your first 20K month, then you want to hit 30. You hit your first 30K month, then you're mad you're not at 40. And it breeds unhappiness. And it also keeps you from showing up as your best self. Your best self is lit up with gratitude and energy around the lives and the world that you're changing. Like I always tell people this, like even if you're selling fresh flowers, like there is a transformation you provide. People are so happy to take home your fresh flowers. You light up their house, you light up their day. It's an act of self-care, right? We've got to focus on how we're changing lives rather than being so worried about where we're wanting to go. So every single business out there has a transformation. And if you don't know what your transformation is, pop in the comments and I will tell you. I will look at your business and I will say, likely, this is the transformation you're making. You are changing lives no matter what you do. And if you are too focused on where you want to go and what isn't there, the 750 people that didn't view my reel, if I'm focused on that, I can't adequately serve the people that are there. I am doing my current group of viewers, of clients, of anyone that's thinking about working with me, a disservice if I'm focused on where I want to go and why I'm not there. So the best way to grow and the best way to get to where you want to be is to be grateful in the moment, because it allows you to show up as your true self. It allows you to show up as the best, most magnetic, most energetic and excited and grateful version of you, which is the version you have to be here. So that's my lesson for you today. If you catch yourself worried about the void, about not being here yet, I want you to remind yourself, make a list even of the people you touched today. Even if it's just views on your stories, those are people spending their time to view you and to listen to what you have to say. That is huge. So my goal for you this week is take a moment of gratitude for the lives and businesses that you touch every single day. And it doesn't have to be a transformational touch. But if people are taking the time to view your content, to read your emails, that is something we should be grateful for. We are building our customer base one by one, and we need to find the gratitude within us for every single person that gives us money, time, and energy. I hope you'll have a wonderful week. I'll be back next week with your lesson.